Morning. It's your Saltwater Guide podcast. Monday, meeting up with Captain Al Clowers, finding out about what he's seen this week. And he's been out quite a few times this week. So he's got some great information. We're not going to have Justin with us today. We're not going to have Pablo with us today. We're going to have Chris Manning checking in from San Clemente Island, though. But you got me and Al today, and we're going to be having a great show. I want to, first and foremost, Promar, thank you so much for all the support you give me, the support you give Al, Pablo, Justin, Sonny. You guys are there for us all the time. And yesterday, if it wasn't for Promar, gang, that big giant tuna that Justin caught yesterday would have never made it on the boat. They were using the live deception flash lure, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And they were using the GT4 fluorocarbon on that surf fishing rod, Al. And
nice. Hey, this stuff?
Yep, the GT4, that stuff's like magic. And they got that 85-pound yellowfin yesterday. It took them the longest I've ever seen a tuna take.
Yeah, that's a long battle.
It was pretty amazing. But hey, you've had some pretty spectacular trips this week. You've been down there doing it. Finally, you're getting off the dock. Some people are chartering you. They made you think that the season was about to start, but then wham, you got slammed. You don't have a trip now till Saturday. What is going on, folks?
Yeah, I just did 6 in a row, and then I got 5 days off. But I had to block 3 of them out for that procedure I had. But,
right.
But yeah, so I those 6 trips, did a couple little bait trips, did some sand bass fishing down on the flats, and did a couple of trips to the islands, and they were all successful. We all had a great time and happy clients.
And something I thought would be important to talk about today, because a lot of the guys and gals that are members of our website are trying to figure out what makes guys like you and I and the other captains of the sport boats and the charter boats, what makes us go to where we go every day? What made you think to go to the rock pile yesterday? Because when you called me in the morning and told me where you were, I was like, no one's been fishing there. What's going on?
Well, the day before, we got a few up at Islands proper, and it was crowded.
I did it, Elliot. I screwed it up. I didn't change the name. God dang it. Oh, someday I made a mistake, Elliot. I see right now. I did. Oh, my gosh. I made a horrible mistake, ladies and gentlemen. All right, go ahead. You don't need to yell at me, Elliot. I'll let you spank me later. Okay, go, Al. Sorry.
So anyway, the first day I was down there, I was around the island proper, lots of boats in the middle grounds. That was the big hype. Some boats at the Pukey Point. And I rolled into the middle grounds and just looked at the situation, and I'm like, I'm out. And I went over a couple little nooks and crannies I have on the South Island. We got a couple over there. And the clients on board were really mellow, and the energy was perfect. And I told my deckhand, I said, dude, we're going on an exploratory couple-hour mission down to the rock pile. The water looks good on the charts. Let's go see what's up down there. So we rolled down there, and we got down there about, 12:45 or so. It was kind of late for the morning bite, but there was only like 3 boats down there. And I clicked on the sonar and hit a school right away, and we got a double. And I'm like, dang, it's off and cracking down here, right? And then they kind of dissipated, so I worked my way back up the line. So yesterday, that day I went to the rock pile. There was some biters at Pukey as well in the afternoon. So yesterday, I made a decision, and it's kind of ballsy, excuse my language, but I made a decision to beeline straight to the rock pile, right? So that's what we did. And we got down there. There was nobody there. Went right back to the waypoints that I punched in the day before and put a couple slow troll rods out, clicked on the CH500, and in 2 minutes, it started clacking on the port side. So I told the deckhand, I said, get ready, dude. We got a school right here on the port side. Throw a little bit of bait. both the troll rods went off. We got 2 bait rods going. So we had a quad within 3-4 minutes, and it was epic. I mean, the water's purple blue down there at 71, and there's a lot of bait, there's a lot of yellowtail, and there's a lot of barracuda. So after that stop, I just kept motoring around, and the CH500 was money. 5 different times yesterday, I called the shots on the school off the CH500. The up and down wasn't even really showing much, but the CH500 had it at 306 degrees, and that thing was pinging. At one point, the last stop, I'm like, dude, we got a school on the port and the starboard side. Hang on, Jack. And we pulled up there, I go, throw a little bit of bait. And the whole place erupted, but there was a lot of barracuda in there. So, I mean, the clients I had on board, he had his kids with him and stuff. So I broke out the spinning rods with surface irons, and they were winging those things around, catching big old log barracuda, a couple yellowtail in the mix. I think we came out of there with 10. But the way I like to fish, especially when the energy is good, right, on the boat, is I just follow my instinct. I do not like to fish around crowds. If it's the only thing going on and everybody's bendo and all my other things aren't working, yeah, I'll pull in there. But time and time again, I have clients say, hey, man, there's a bunch of boats over there. I'm like, hey, man, we're going to go find our own fish, I believe in myself enough, and I believe in my instruments to be able to find fish on my own. And basically that's what we did at the rock pile. And it was epic yesterday. 5 different times the sonar went off, and I could tell which ones were barracuda and which ones were yellowtail, because the barracuda hit a little softer. They hit a little softer, and the yellowtail hit a little harder, and then the tuna hit real hard. So I got it pretty dialed in, and it was really cool to be able to work off that sonar, that searchlight yesterday, and be able to call the shots every time. It worked like clockwork. It was pretty. My deckhand was tripping. He couldn't believe it.
But once you learn how to use that machine is money, gang. And Al's not talking about what you all have on your boat as far as an up and down fish finder photometer machine. We're talking about a CH500, which is a sonar where the tube comes out of the bottom of your boat and it looks all the way around your boat for a very long ways away. But when you're fishing that yellowtail in that 200 to 300 foot of water, or even in the shallows, you kind of put the tilt up or down. It's absolutely magic. The funny thing, we're going to show you a video of what Al did yesterday, but don't you think it's funny, Al, that we've been using sonars in Southern California, and the commercial guys have been using them for a very long time, but now that the sonar is being used in these bass tournaments, right, the whole world's freaking out. They don't want these guys to use them. And the only people that don't want you to use it are the people that can't afford it.
Right. I mean,
hey,
it's an art. Just because you have it don't mean you're going to catch them. You know what I mean? You got to spend a lot of time with the saltwater stuff and the freshwater stuff. Freshwater stuff's even a little bit more tricky, because when you make a cast, the window of where your bait needs to land to be able to see it and the fish at the same time is intense. I mean, there's a lot going on that trolling motor in the lake when you're fishing off sonar, man. It's a lot. The wind's blowing. You got to keep your boat moving. You got to keep the fish in the cone. Yeah, it's not easy. It takes time, And then with the saltwater stuff, it's time on the water and figuring out what kind of fish, because you caught the fish off of the sonar mark, and you learn the different noises and stuff. Because the CH500, I can hear it before I can see it on any of my instruments. So you just be kind of daydreaming, nodding off, just fishing, trolling around. All of a sudden, clack, 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 and you look at it, and wherever the cursor's at, you head over that way, and then they come into the meters,
Yeah, we had it when I was doing it every day, and we got our first sonar, gang, in 1989. So it took a while to figure it out, but once you got it figured out, like Al says, you can hear it before you see it. And you can hear the machine before it actually hits the fish, the barracuda, the tuna, or the yellows. You can hear it. You can hear the pitch change. And This is how I would fish all day. I'd have the gyros on my face, And I know I'm a baby, but I had my feet up on the dash.
That's me. I drive
Gyros on my face, and I wouldn't come out of the gyros till that pitch would change. And it's going, and you guys hear it a lot on call-in captains when they call in. You're hearing it go click, 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 click. When it goes, that's the fish. But the click, click, click changes sound right before it hits a fish. So you can detect them. When you start to get this whole thing dialed in, gang, you can detect them, and it is money. And I would take I could hear the click, you could hear the sound. You knew what kind of a school it was. You knew if it was a big school, little school, if you should come out of the gyros or not. And then you'd come out of the gyros, you'd look down, you go, oh, it's 400 feet off the port side. Get ready. Just happened to be the rubber flying fish is skipping along there. I want to show everybody this video Al sent me yesterday. This is what Al did yesterday, gang, down at the rock pile.
Fishing with Captain Clowers.
Right on, dude. Looks good.
Captain Clowers, baby. Yeah.
Good day, huh, boys?
Yeah, good day.
You guys want to get on this 619-800 fish? We even got some bonus rock cod, big old reds and stuff over there, ling cod.
Shoo!
Thanks for coming out time and time again, Lee. Appreciate you, buddy.
You had a great time.
Yeah, Captain Al. And there's Captain Al's phone number and his QR code. And gang, we all know what's going on in the economy today. We all know. But gang, if you want to go and have a really great experience out on the water and you're in San Diego, you can't go with a better human being. Kind, real human being, real person, no baloney. He's going to talk to you. He's going to tell you exactly what's going on. You can come up in the bridge and see what he's doing with the sonar. The thing about going fishing with Captain Al or Captain Justin or Captain Pablo is not only are you going to get to go fish, but you're going to get to understand what is going on. Where a lot of captains, they don't let you up in the bridge, and they don't want to talk to you and teach you because number one, most of them don't even have a clue what they're doing. But I'm sorry. But then the other ones don't know how to talk. Where Captain Al, because the background that Al and I come from, we learned how to talk because that's why we're both still sober today, is because we know how to talk and we know how to share. And we know how to share the garbage that's going on inside of our bodies. Plus, we also know how to share what's going on out on the water, and we can explain it all to you. And it's kind of magical. Every person that's gone with you, Justin or Pablo, they always call me up and they always say, Dave, that was the best experience I've ever had on a boat fishing, whether they caught anything or not, because of the vast knowledge that you share, Al. Is you can't buy that. You can't go get that on the street corner, gang. So I'm just telling you, when you go with Captain Al, it's way more than a fishing trip.
Yeah, it's a total experience. You get to hang out with the old salty guy. Share some laughs, get some knowledge, check everything out, get exposed to some stuff that you haven't been exposed to.
And if you all think, you guys think
rods.
The kids are going back to school right now, summer's over, it's just starting for us in this industry. Captain Al, you kind of explained to him the water down there at the rock pile right now. Talk about it again, because we got way more people watching than when we first started talking.
Yeah, the water down there was purple blue in 71, and actually the water all through the whole island chain, because I came up the line to get some caught up on North Island, and it was really consistent water clarity and water temp all through the islands. But that stuff is down on the rock pile pretty good right now. I don't know how long it's going to last. So if you guys want to get some yellows with not a lot of people around, jam down to the rock pile or call me. You know?
And then another thing you talked about, and I love, and this is what we grew up doing, fishing barracuda on the iron. Get out.
Hey, there were some loggers, dude. They were all loggers yesterday, big ones.
And that's a fish that we haven't seen in our water in a long time at the volume that's going on down there right now. Right. It's absolutely incredible. I know we have a phenomenal amount of internet fishermen that think they're the superstars of fishing now because of the internet. but you're missing out on fishing. If you don't like fishing barracuda, it's because you don't know anything about fishing. It's an epic fish. It's a great way to learn how to fish the iron. Because I'll tell you what, Al, if you're throwing the iron all day and never getting a bite, it sucks throwing the iron.
Right.
If you're throwing the iron out and barracuda are trying to inhale that thing.
Oh, dude, they're biting it right at the boat too sometimes, it's cool.
It is so fun to fish. Yeah, the blue and white stragglers, Leonard Straggler, Devo, boy, that was our buddy. And fishing the iron for yellows is fun, but I'll tell you what, if you haven't done it yet, you need to go practice on this CUDA right now. Go with Captain Al. And then Captain Al, you had such a great group of guys. And another thing about being a captain is reading your group. You got to be able to read the group. You can't get guys on the boat that have never fished before. We're bluefin fishing. They don't even know what a bluefin is. So you're losing it. You're blowing it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, every group is different, but when they're really mellow, I can just wind myself up and let me go, and everything will be okay. You don't have to point out all the boats or all that other stuff. Hey,
we got one of our very close personal friend of yours. If you guys could, we do a rated X show in the middle of the night. You guys would be the superstars of the show, but we're going to bring your buddy in right now. Wake up, Chris. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. How you guys doing today?
Chris is at San Clemente Island, gang, right now, sitting in his room at San Clemente Island. Dude, you're my hero. I want to go there so bad. Somebody please let me come on the island before I die. I need to be on San Clemente Island once before I die. It's a bucket list thing for me. You don't understand.
Yeah, sneak them in your luggage.
Right? E-ticket ride. Save all your e-tickets.
Yeah, I want to go there. So what's going on over at San Clemente Island, Chris? Are we getting ready to go to the Middle East? What's going on?
Oh, gosh, we're already there. We're everywhere. It's been very, very busy year out here. Very busy year, as you know. It's been a while since I've been on your show. By the way, thank you very much. I'm very humbled to be here again. Just been super busy. Lots going on.
Yeah, you were telling me they got you working weekends and stuff right now too, which thank God, because of the economy and the fishing and what's going on, there's not a lot of money. There's not a lot of extra money in people's pockets right now. So God's taking care of you. The three of us have a phenomenal amount of sobriety right here, sitting right in front of you, gang. And it means a ton to us. The three of us would not be sitting here right now if it wasn't for our sobriety. Right?
If it wasn't for the man upstairs, that is exactly correct, Dave. I wouldn't be here, and if it wasn't for this gentleman right here that's on your show, Captain Alan Clowers, he's been a lighthouse for me, for the past 30 years. By the grace of God, I'm coming up on 11 years, October 13th. And for many, many years, I was lost, but this man, Captain Clowers, always had his light on, and I would always be able to navigate back to that light. And very, very grateful, very, very grateful. I wouldn't be here where I'm at right now.
That's cool. Thanks.
I love you. Love you.
33 years ago, PIR,
probationers in recovery. Huh?
That was brutal.
Alan got with the program. I said, catch me if you can.
I remember going down to Imperial Beach because I haven't heard from him for like 5 months. Kind of gathered up some information to where he was at. And I just jumped in my car, man. This is kind of what I did. And I knew I was going into like a bombing zone, but I'd go down there and look for Chris. And I remember that one day when we went back in the shed, I'm like, what's this place for? But anyway, yeah.
God is good.
God is good. Yeah, Evo, you can say Jesus here.
Yeah. He shines your light on you, right? But it's up to you. You've got to do the hard work. You've got to put one foot in front of the other. And, I tell myself this every morning, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Right? There's a lot of people that say, well, I can't. I don't have a car. Can't. There is no can't. Man, I'm living proof.
Yeah. After about 15 years, you figured that one out. Now you got it locked down. Yeah, boy.
Locked down. Yeah. Don't ever take anything for granted, though. Every day is hard work, you know? Every day is hard work. I read every morning, you know? Every morning, you know, I got to do the work. I got to do the work, because if I don't do the work, then I can't keep what I have, right? I can't keep what I have if I don't give it away, if I don't help another. So, man, this show's about fishing, but right now we're sitting here with some really OGs in the industry, you know what I mean? And very grateful to be here. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Alan.
Chris, we love having you on the show. Your energy is so good. And then we got our good friend Cubby Paul watching right now. Someday, Cubby, you're going to come on the show. I know you don't think you have anything to talk about, but you have a ton of stuff to talk about. Cubby's one of our brothers. He's one of my best pals in the whole world. We're family. Doesn't get any tighter than that. Cubby's got a lot of time, just like the three of us have a lot of time. And it's, you know what? You got to, and I'm sorry, those of you that don't like us talking about our sobriety, it's probably because you're still out there practicing. So that's your fault. That's your problem. So you cannot watch us anymore. It's not going to break my heart, and I guarantee you it won't change what Kelly and I eat for dinner tonight. But you know what? It might save your life if you just sit down, shut up, and listen. So those of you that are offended by this conversation, you probably are using. So we're here. There's a reason why we're talking to you right now. There is. God put us here in front of you. So shut up and listen. I'm just being honest. But it goes right in line with fishing, gang. You get out of it, the sobriety thing that we have, we get out of it what we put into it. Just like when we go fishing, right, boys?
That's it. That's it. If you don't do the research and you don't
big earthquake in California.
Have the energy, you know what I mean? Then you're not going to succeed, right?
Chris, did you feel the earthquake?
Shaking down here.
You got an earthquake right now?
They just said there's a big earthquake right now in California. You didn't feel it?
No.
You didn't feel it in San Diego?
No.
Didn't feel it out here in San Clemente Island.
It wasn't that big then.
No.
But you know what? We're talking sobriety, and God's like shaking somebody right now, trying to wake them up.
Hello, man.
Hello. Listen to me.
Hey, it's pretty cool to be able to sit here and not even knowing a conversation like that was going to come up, and it comes up, and it's real. It's
right?
real. You know what I mean? I've been blessed, you know, to put some time together, and obviously it hasn't been easy. I remember quick story. I remember when I was taking all these suggestions, right? And I didn't have any other way but to say, okay, I'll do it. You know, my buddy Tom told me, hey, I suggest you be a greeter at Old Town Speakers. You're going to have to go buy a suit. I'm like, what? A suit? I said, you're out of your mind. And he goes, well, you can take it or leave it. So the next day I went and bought the first one, you know what I mean? And I showed up, man. And, you know, I did like 10 and a half years of service at that meeting, but yeah, anywhere from picking up cigarette butts to wearing suits to whatever,
coffee,
whatever suggested,
being the secretary.
And I have some really close friends. Chris is the closest non-family friend that I basically have, as far as staying in touch on a weekly, sometimes daily basis, you know, whether it's just a text or a phone call. You know, I have a couple other real tight guys too, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I love you to death, Chris. You're the man. And it's cool to see. He sends me these little texts. He's over there because he's isolated, right? So he's isolated with whatever wildlife's on that island, but he's over there taking care of business and doing some reading, and he's sharing it with me every day. You know, it's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's family, guys. It's family. It's like I know I talk about family all the time with our website and our community. And this is what it's all about right here, what we're doing right now. The three of us sitting here sharing our experience, strength, and hope with each other, and also sharing it with thousands of people that are watching. I know it's hard to imagine, you two knuckleheads, but there's thousands of people watching us right now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And it's because, like Chris said a little while ago, because the higher power has decided to put us here and let us be alive still. We are very, very blessed to still be alive. And there's a reason why the higher power wants us to be here. And he wants us to share our fishing ability and our skills with other people, plus our life lessons, because boy, the three of us, we should be in a penitentiary right now. We shouldn't be sitting here in front of you. But because we decided to put the garbage down and pick the book up, we're sitting here right now. That's the only thing we did different than the rest of you that are out there still suffering. So I know we got off on a little teal here, but when Chris comes, you feel the power when Chris comes in the room. I'm sorry, Chris. Me and Al will tell you, we feel your power every time we're around you.
Lots of energy, boy. Good energy.
Yep, great energy. I loved hanging out in your garage making lures that day and
Right.
heads and sharing and doing what we did. But gang, I got to stop the show for a minute. We got to talk about our sponsor. Without our sponsor, Promar Ahi USA, this show we wouldn't be able to have this show. And I want to show you something. If those of you that watched the show yesterday watched Justin out there catching that giant yellowfin tuna on the back out there by San Nicolas Island, he was using that GT4 fluorocarbon, but they used this Live Deception mackerel color, the Live Deception flash lure by Promar Ahi USA. This is what they caught that fish on, gang. If you saw it, it was hanging out of its mouth when they brought it on the boat. It's an absolutely incredible lure. And like Justin was telling the guys when they were going from foamer to foamer, somebody throw the Live Deception on there. I get bit on it every time. And we're like, yeah, every time. I'll go to heck. That thing hit the water. Unfortunately, they got it on a surf fishing spinning rod. And 4 hours later, they landed the fish. But this is the lure, the Live Deception flash lure. Gang, I put the QR code up there on the screen. This is the 4-ounce model. This thing it matches that bait that they're feeding on in those giant foamers you see. This lure just says, eat me. Look at it. Eat me, eat me. Grab the QR code, go to Promar Ahi USA. You will not believe all the great products. Catmouth, show them the GT4 fluorocarbon you just had up there. They had a piece of that tied to the end of that long spinning rod, a piece of 50-pound attached to this lure. And that's why I believe in my heart, that's why they got that fish. They threw everything in the toolbox at those foamers yesterday, and then that yellowfin ate this lure, and it was.
You got to match the hatch.
It was incredible.
Match the hatch.
If you don't have some of these Live Deception flash lures in your box, you better get some. If you're going out there and you're striking out every time, Justin swears by this, so do I. So get some of these QR codes up on the screen. Those of you that are listening to the show and not watching it, the code's YSWG and the number 22. And that's how you're going to save your 10% on anything you buy at Promar Ahi USA. And you're going to get that product delivered straight to your house. It's a pretty cool deal. And you get to save 10% because you watch our silly podcast every day. We do this podcast Monday through Fridays at 12 o'clock. And then we do the call in. And we love having you all call into the show on Saturdays at 9 o'clock in the morning and share what you're doing out on the water. That show's taken off, and I want to thank AFTCO for allowing us to do that show on Saturdays. But Promar is the reason why we get to do the Monday, Tuesday shows. They are always taking care of us. So thank you very much, Promar. We're going to leave the QR code up for a few minutes while we chat some more. What are you getting a call, Chris? You got to go drag a target?
No, I'm on standby. I got to recover boats here in a minute.
So tell everybody you're a guide. You work with us as a guide, but you've been so busy at San Clemente Island. Tell everybody what you're doing out there so that some of us, and I know don't share, we don't want you to get fired, but share what's going on.
Basically, I am on the fast boat team. I'm HSMST boat team, San Clemente Island. And basically training our military to become better soldiers to defend our homeland. In a nutshell.
Pretty much. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it. How cool is that? That some silly old fisherman's over there driving boats around. That's my dream. If I was to come out of retirement, if Chris called me up tomorrow and said, we need another captain over here to drive targets around, I'm in.
Right.
I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm on the airplane, the helicopter. I'll row the boat. I will row the boat all the way to San Clemente Island for an opportunity to go on the island. It's so cool to have all those human beings that care so much about our lives over there at San Clemente Island, SEAL Team 6, Top Gun School, all the Marines, all the Navy men, everybody that's on that island getting ready to defend us at the drop of a dime. And their life, they put their lives on the line every single day just practicing over there. It's so cool, all the cool things you guys are doing on the island, Chris. I would love to have an opportunity.
It's very humbling. Very humbling.
Someday to see, and then I would love to meet your little pets, your little foxes.
Right.
Those guys look so cool. The little island foxes.
He's got a bunch of pet calicos from what I hear too, Dave.
Yeah, he sends me pictures of those too. He's fishing on the beach, and some of them I've driven by the spots 1,000 times. Never thought I would get to see them from land, but Chris you make it feel like I'm there, buddy.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. Been getting some big calicos from the shore.
Are you seeing any of that bluefin from where you're stationed at?
Oh, yeah. Just little wolf packs. Most of it is further up north. You know, it's just a big triangle from the Snail, Osborne Bank, and then all down that ridge right there. But most of it's up there by Santa Barbara Island, Santa Cruz. You know what I mean? The Snail is just like a big triangle. They come here, back down to the 500 fathom curve, and they're just back and forth on that ridge.
No, it's weird that they're living in that zone this year. They're just staying up there. That fish never really developed out the backside of Clemente in the zone that it's been for the last 10 years. It just kind of skipped right through there. And I don't know if that's because all that anchovy is up there or what the real reason is. What's your theory on that?
I believe that it's just that bubble of water, and there's just so much food up there. Right now is when they're chasing around all that fin bait, right? They're chasing around all that small stuff. That's going to dissipate here by the end of August, early September. They're going to start hunkering down on curves and high spots and on certain banks and stuff. But yeah, right now they're just chasing bait around, you know. I had a buddy that was diving yesterday, and he was up here, and they got two really nice yellowfin, but they seen 150, 200-pound yellowfin with big sickles that you would see down in Puerto Vallarta in the water, right up here on the Snail. Yeah.
That's insane.
Right?
Now, you're driving those fast boats up and down San Clemente Island. Are you seeing those big schools of yellowtail?
No.
You're not seeing big breezers right now?
Nope.
Not yet?
Nope.
Al's got them all roped in.
Miles of that small little 15 to 30-pound bluefin last week, probably like 4 miles of it, just everywhere, just jumping out of the water, crazy, right? Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool, but I guess Al's got all those yellowtail down there at Coronado's. He won't let him go to Clemente. He's holding them
right
down there.
Right.
Can you, and I need you to talk to everybody that's listening, can you believe that Captain Al Clowers is actually setting at the dock this week?
Yeah. You know, it's been a really tough industry. The world is going to hell in a handbasket quick, and you know, people just aren't spending any money, and it's sad because Al is just one person. There's so many other guys that are suffering the same economy that Al is. I mean, the whole industry from guys that are, you know, selling merchandise, AFTCO, Shimano, Pin, you name it. everyone is suffering this year. I think it started like last year. Even last year wasn't that good. This year's even worse.
And Chris seen me from when I very first opened up Captain Clower's Charters. He seen me the highs and lows.
What was that? Like 15 years ago?
Yeah, it's like 17.
Yeah.
Well, Tim Ogilvy, congratulations. That's great. And Anthony, thank you for the update on the earthquake. 4.7 in Pasadena. You're up in that building. That's why you felt it so good. I want to say everybody that's thanking us for this show, thank you all very, very much. And everybody that has some time and sobriety, you know how special it is. And it's cool for us to be able to talk about it here on an open forum. And Anthony, congratulations on your 17 years. And because we're talking about our experience, strength, and hope, that gets us canceled, then so be it. But I'm going to talk about it because it's super important, I believe. That we wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for it. And I love that you and Al are spending a little bit of your time on a Monday to hang out with me. I'm humbled by that because you guys are my heroes, and I really love having you guys on this show. So thank you both.
We love you too, Dave.
What?
We love you too, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys. But we got to talk more about fishing while we have you two here. So Chris, is there any chance somebody can hire you, or are you just totally buried at San Clemente Island? When you get a couple minutes off, you get to spend time with your wife?
No, I'm available on the weekends and so basically I'm a licensed guide, right? I show up on your boat. I teach you and help you become a successful fisherman from whatever you want to do, from calicos, catching squid at the local islands and sitting on squid beds, to catch the yellowtail and white sea bass, which is happening a lot right now, especially up here. That's how they're getting all these big 40-pound yellowtail up here at San Clemente Island and at Catalina. But everything from catching yellowtail, finding squid, sitting on a bed, anchoring up correctly, to offshore bluefin fishing, to using the kite, fly lining live flying fish.
Yeah, and he does have a clue, gang. If you take Chris with you on your boat, just like Captain Al and Justin and Pablo, they're all available to go with you on your boat, teach you how to fish. Al's got his own boat. You can go fishing with him. Justin has his own boat. Pablo has his own boat. But the three of them are also guides that will come with you. But Chris doesn't have his own boat, so he's going to be exclusively just guiding with you on your boat. And you've been working with me for quite a while. And I'll tell you what, gang, every time Al, Pablo, Chris, Justin goes with one of you guys on your boats, I get so many accolades sent back to me just thanking me for putting you together with these folks. Everybody's super happy to have you guys, any one of you guys. And I don't pick people that aren't good, gang. I don't let people into my inner circle that aren't really good. And these are my guys. This Captain Al, Captain Chris, Captain Pablo, Captain Justin. Those are my guys. That's our SEAL Team 6. And then we got Kelly Girl running the whole thing for us.
Kelly,
God bless Kelly, right?
Where's she at?
She's taking care of our cat right now. Our cat's got some problems with his ears, so she's in there rubbing his ears right now. She's got some ear mites, and it got infected. It's been a giant mess with that cat. So she's taking care of the cat. Me and Marley are in here taking care of the show. Gang, if you haven't met Marley, he's my monkey. He's been making guest celebrity appearances on Sunday because Elliot lets me post. I'm only allowed to post freelance on Sundays. Those are the only days I'm allowed to post stuff. So me and Marley have been posting some cool stuff on Sundays. But the rest of the time, I'm being taken care of by Kelly Girl and Elliot, making sure I don't make some horrible mistake and get canceled all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But Gang, you want to get together with one of these guys and get out here. The season's going to get better and better as we go along. Like Captain Al says, that purple blue water, when we tell you guys the water's purple, that's because that's the color of it. That means it's super clean. We haven't seen that in Southern California this year, that purple water. What's the water looking like where you're driving the boat up and down the island, Chris?
Oh, there's bubbles of that purple blue water that Al's talking about. There's a couple spots up here where I've ran into it. You know, it moves around, right? It's all about condition, right? It's all about upwelling and a lot of different factors come into play. But yeah, it's starting to heat up. You know, once this bluefin stops chasing all this fin bait around and going all over the place, it's going to settle down and it's going to be a lot easier to locate and to catch.
Yeah, that'd be nice if they came down a couple zip codes instead of going all the way up there.
Yeah.
Hey, the water was so nice. I even took some pictures of it yesterday. I don't know if you guys can see this, but
yeah.
That's purple water, gang. That's what we're talking about. Look at it. It's right up against
God, and that's at the island, you know.
Right at Coronado Island.
Yeah. Wow.
That's Pukey. That's up on North Island right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the fishing? How you get yellows the other day?
Yeah, I've been getting.
I heard it kind of slowed down a little bit.
No,
Here.
I've been catching them.
Let me show him this video from yesterday. Watch this, Chris.
Fishing with Captain Clowers.
Right on, dude. Looks good.
Captain Clowers. Captain Clowers, baby. Oh, yeah.
Good day, huh, boys?
Yeah, good day.
You guys want to get on this 619-800 fish? We even got some bonus rock cod, big old reds and stuff over there, link cod.
Shoo!
Thanks for coming out time and time again, Lee. Appreciate you, buddy.
You had a great time.
What do you
How was yesterday?
Successful. Not everybody's getting them. Not everybody's getting them, and that's what separates Alan from a lot of other people, right? It's about experience on the water and technique, right?
Yeah, and like we were talking before you jumped on with us, it's when we wake up in the morning as captains, we start to put the puzzle together and we start to see the water. And then Captain Al was explaining to him why he decided, because really, Chris, like you were saying, it kind of took a little pause for a few days, and Captain Al just had a wild hair up his butt, and he put together the puzzle and he said, I need to go to the rock pile today. He just blew down there. Tell the story again, Al. We got 50 people watching.
Yeah, well, the first day I hadn't been there in a week. I was doing a bunch of half days and stuff, right? So I just rolled into the middle of the islands, grabbed the gyros, seen 55 boats at middle grounds, and just kind of veered off and went over to. I got a couple of little nooks where nobody's at on South Island. Went over there, plucked a couple, and then I told my deckhand I'm not going back up there. We need to go do some research at the rock pile. So I went down to the rock pile. We got there about 11 o'clock, 11:30. And got a sonar mark and got a double right. I mean, within 5 minutes, and we ended up with 4 down there, and then it kind of shut off because it was later in the day. So then yesterday, I'm like, man, I'm gonna gamble, and from what I see and what I feel, I'm just gonna beeline 30 miles straight to the rock pile, and that's what I did. Ran down the inside, all or nothing, and put the slow trolls out, turned the CH500 on, got a meter mark, and we got a quad within 5 minutes again.
Very nice.
And so we smoked them good yesterday. And then the Barracuda moved in, and we had a Barracuda family fest, which was fun. They had a blast.
It's all about
I ran down the salon and grabbed up, 4 of those spinning rods with the surface irons on it, winging those things around, getting bit right at the boat. It was cool, man. So we ended up with 10 yesterday, and the biggest one they wanted to weigh it was 26 pounds. They're nice fish.
Hey, Chris, before you got to run away, I want you to see one more little video. This thing is rad. I don't know if you watched this docu-series yet or not, but let me see, do I have it? Yes, right here.
Success and the inspiration that will drive the fishermen out in the first light of tomorrow with the eternal hope that it will be their day for the king of fish. And on every boat, fishermen wait excitedly for the first strikes of the day.
It's all about the bite. It's putting on the right bait, getting bit, setting the hook, or getting that first bend out of the rod.
It's about the initial hookup.
It's just one of the most exciting moments anybody can have ever.
When you see something that size, you freak out.
You strip it.
He's bigger than you.
It's 150 pounds.
Giant-eyed,
overgrown minnow.
They could have come from a spacecraft.
You get tight with it.
You've got a hold of a huge creature.
Something in your heart stops.
That's the history of sport fishing, Chris. That's Michael Folks' new 12-part docuseries. And it is an absolutely incredible series. If you haven't watched this yet, any of you out there that are listening, this is the story of our lives. Yeah. And there is a part, I was thinking of you two guys when we were watching it, because I think you guys are like my largemouth bass guru dudes. There is a part of this that's all about largemouth bass. And it's all about when Bill Dance and what's
Roland
the other?
Martin?
No, the other guy. The guy,
Grisby?
No, the guy with the Tennessee hat on.
Hank Parker.
When they were putting together the first fishing TV show.
Bill Dance.
Yeah. Bill Dance. Yeah, thank you. When they were putting together the first fishing TV show, they went to the networks and they were talking to them and they were like, no one's going to watch a fishing show on TV. What are you
Hey, now them guys are sitting. They're sitting pretty, them guys. They're not hurting, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it took all they had
to
get a show on TV, and now we all watch it, man. You and I. And then I go to Chris's house or Al's house. You walk, when you guys, if you ever had the opportunity to walk in Al or Chris's garage, you're going to be blown away. These guys are big-time offshore fishermen, bluefin, da-da-da. But these guys are bass fishermen, like you can't even believe. These two knuckleheads right here, if they could piss a puddle, they'll fish bass in it.
Come on now. Wherever there's water.
You guys got to check out this show. Al's watching.
I'm taking little Kiara to the lake tomorrow morning. I told her we're getting up at 5. I'm going to go throw some topwater at Elk Cat.
So, Chris, while you're over there at the island, brother, while you're laying there at night, you got to start watching this. The very best part of it is the very, 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 very first scene, right, Al?
Yeah.
The very first scene.
There's some knucklehead right on the front of it.
The very first scene, Chris, is me.
Really? Very nice. Very nice.
That's
nice.
Pretty funny. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to know Michael and be a good friend. You guys
when I was watching it, I'm like, man, I guess I'm not just I'm heavy, but I'm not a real heavy hitter because I ain't on the show.
But you know me, so that makes it even better. You know me, I'm super humble.
Yeah, that was cool. That's cool. I only watched the first 2 so far.
Yeah, well, you got to get into the largemouth bass part. You guys are both gonna love it.
Right.
And absolutely, and so Michael's going to send me more clips. So every day we'll be showing you more little pieces and parts of this thing. If you guys haven't had an opportunity to watch it, you can download it anywhere. Just go online, go to History of Sport Fishing, or grab that QR code that I just had up on the screen, gang. Take you right to Michael's site. This movie was made by our personal friend. Those of you that grew up in California, you know Michael. He had the TV show Inside Sport Fishing for a very, very long time. And then I know Al and Chris watched it like I did, hoping and praying that one day we would all be on the show. That's what we were hoping, man. Right. I want to be on Inside Sport Fishing. So Michael Folks took all that knowledge and all that time on water and all the contacts he has, and he put together the most unbelievable 12-part docuseries about fishing for us. And you're going to learn so much history. Chris, I don't know if you know this, but our forefathers, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, John Quincy Adams, those guys were all fishermen. And they put it in the and you'll get to see. You'll get to see George Washington never went anywhere without his tackle bag. He had a little tackle bag he wore inside of his suit during the Revolutionary War, and he didn't go anywhere without his tackle. And they wrote
Wow, I never knew that.
They wrote into the Constitution of the Bill of Rights of the United States of America that we will always have the right to fish in America, because these guys understood and they knew. And these are things you're going to learn on the show. You're going to learn about Catalina. You're going to learn about Bill Dance. You're going to learn about those guys that worked so hard to get fishing on TV. There's so much history that all of you watch.
It talks about when everything revolutionized, all this first sport.
They lost connection.
Oh, we're here. You might have lost connection. You hear me, Al?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Chris froze up.
Uh-oh.
Chris is frozen up.
It's those Navy black spots out there.
They're blocking him. They don't want him on here anymore. They heard our forefathers want us to fish. There, he's back. He's back. He's back. You're back. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
We had a little glitch in the system.
Yeah, the Navy didn't want you talking about our forefathers.
Right.
Yeah, that documentary is really cool. I've only watched a little bit, but it's way cool.
And Tim Ogle,
it even has Ingrid on there yanking on a fish when she's really young. She's the one that owns Marina Cortez and High Seas Fuel Dock, and half of it was Bill Poole's wife. She's still alive.
Oh yeah.
She's the one that owns
for quite some time she was running the show down there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was. Even though you guys thought Bill was running the show, Ingrid was in charge.
Oh, we all know.
Oh, yeah. She owns Marina Cortez. She's I haven't had to hit her up, but if I ever have a really serious fishing situation or something, I can go to Ingrid with it,
And that's Ingrid Poole. Her husband was one of the pioneers, like my father. There's none of those guys. The last guy holding the torch is Frank Lepresti, and he's in this docuseries too, gang.
Right.
But Frank used to be my dad. Here's how far back my family and Frank go. Frank used to be my father's pinhead on the San Clemente Pier. Wow. Frank used to go out with my dad. My dad was running the old Clemente, and he would not the Clemente now, not the one that was built in '64. I'm talking about the one my dad ran in the early '50s, and Frank used to be his pinhead. Crazy history.
That's crazy, huh?
Wow.
We've been around for a long time.
You know what's funny is I had a kid, Trevin, start pinheading with me when he was 13. And when he turned 18, he goes, "Hey Al, I wanna tap into the long range boats." I said, "Well, let me call old Roy Rose up for you. I'll tap you right into the head dog." So I did, and ever since we met at In-N-Out with Roy, and I told Roy straight up, looked him in the eye, go, "Dude, this kid will not let you down." And Trevin is still working on the Royal Polaris. He's got his ticket. He's running 3-day trips out to Helm and everything. Did that, and it's just cool history. A picture of him came up on my Facebook this morning holding a big yellowtail when he was like 12, and I made a big post about it and stuff. But I love that kid too, and he's running long range trips. He's only 20, 23, 24, 23 probably now.
Well, there's some people, I know there's some rule changes going on right now with the rockfish and all this different stuff, gang. We're going to do our best to get Wayne Coda on the show this week. But as of right now, we don't have Wayne scheduled to be on the show, but we'll work on it as hard as we can. And I have a really fun guest for Friday's show, Captain Miranda. She runs a charter business down in Florida. She's a phenomenal young lady, and she was on Naked and Afraid. She was one of the contestants. She went pretty close to the end. She's a good human, and she's going to tell her story on the show on Friday, gang. So get your wives and your daughters and get them ready to watch the show on Friday, because our industry is for everybody. It's not just for crusty old salty guys like Chris and Al and I. The gals are doing it, and they're doing it as good, if not better, than we ever did. So you guys are going to have a really good time learning about it, Miranda and her story. And because of the fact that she is such a gnarly lady. She got to be on Naked and Afraid. Plus, she runs that charter business. She gets to see all kinds of cool things. It's going to be a great show Friday. But I'm going to work very hard after the show's over to try to get Wayne Coda on the show this week, because we got a bunch of meetings coming up. We got a bunch of things coming up. And gang, I don't know if you all saw the first finback whale committed suicide yesterday on the beach in Torrance. And if you guys are blown away by that, you might as well get ready, because it's going to happen a bunch now, because they're starting to get ready to put together those offshore wind farms here in Southern California. And you're going to see a massive amount of whales die, and they're going to commit suicide like that one did yesterday, because they can't handle that sound in the water. Now, I know that when Al and Chris and I were kids, whales mattered a lot. But now, because of the new Green Deal, whales don't matter anymore. So just get ready. You're going to see an epic amount of dead whales on the beaches in Southern California. But you just got to remember, it's for it's for the magical bologna called green energy, which doesn't exist. There's no such thing. It's like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Perfect Man. Right. None of them exist. And you're going to see the largest animals ever to live on the planet committing suicide here in the next few years. And if you're all okay with that, then just keep voting. Just keep on voting party. Just keep on voting party. Don't vote policy, because you guys are all good with whales dying. That's cool. I'm on whatever you want to do. If you like whales dying and committing suicide, just keep on voting party, gang. If you don't think that's what's going on, remove head from rectum. Wake up. The East Coast is littered with dead whales. And it's because we had those people on the show here 2 months ago. It's because of the sound that's going in the water. These whales can't handle that sound. Whales are very vocal animals. They talk hundreds of miles apart from each other. They talk under the water. Well, the sound that we're putting underneath the water with this new Green Deal, the windmill deal, as long as you guys are cool with it, keep voting party. Forget about policy. As long as you don't care about whales, just keep on voting party. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry, I had to talk about it. When that whale committed suicide yesterday, and that's what he did. He committed suicide. He swam up on the beach because he can't handle this noise being created by these sonars that are being used to put these green windmills. They're not windmills, they're wind turbines. They're as big as skyscrapers, and they do nothing. You can't even hook them up to the power grid, even if we do build them. But as long as you're cool with whales committing suicide, then let's do the Green Deal, baby. Let's get it on. Let's do it. I personally don't like whales committing suicide. It's not my deal. I don't like it. So don't say Dave Hansen's into it. But I know a lot of you are voting party, and that's fine as long as you don't care about the whales committing suicide. Keep on voting for those booger-eating morons. Keep on voting for them, and just be cool with it, though. Just go down there and enjoy the death of all these whales, because that's what you guys are voting for. All right? I can only be me. I can't be anybody but me. I'll never be anyone but me. What do you got, Chris?
Oh, I just it's disgusting, and it's happening all over the world. So it's just, man, it's another one of those deals where take nothing for granted and live every day to the fullest. You know what I mean? Because every day is a blessing.
Absolutely. Thank you guys both for being on the show today. Okay. I hope you enjoyed our show. Leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, sprinkle some stars out there. We need you guys to sprinkle some stars. We're lacking on our stars. We used to have a lot of stars. Mike Lewis, I don't know how many days this is, like 1.5 million days in a row he's left stars. Gang, there's a challenge. Mike Lewis challenging any one of you to leave stars on Facebook for Captain Dave. If you don't know what that means, you can Venmo us a little bit of money. These shows aren't free to run. We have some sponsors, but we do this show every day, except for Sundays. We take Sunday off. We do this live podcast 6 days a week. Nobody's doing what we do. and it's because of our viewers. So thank you all very, very much. And guys like Chris and Al for being on the show. Thank you very much. And if you guys need to go 121 weeks straight, Mike Lewis has delivered stars.
Nice.
Figure that one out.
Mike.
That's a lot of
Thank
days.
you, Mike.
That's crazy. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for watching the show. If you don't like the political part, it's time to remove head from rectum, because that's why we're all suffering so bad right now. It's because of policy. And
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
Hey, Dave, just a quick note to everybody. You know, it is the middle of summer. It's 70, 80 degrees, no wind, beautiful weather, biting fish from the bay all the way out to the offshore. And if you guys want to go on a highly reviewed operation and come with me fishing, you know, they can go to 619-800-3474 or go to my site, autobook, captainclowers.com. I have plenty of availability, which is really unfortunate right now. So you guys want to go fishing, let's go.
And then, Chris, how can they get a hold of you, big guy?
My phone number is 619-302-3379. I show up to your dock, take you out on your boat, teach you how to use a kite, teach you how to fish live flying fish from A to Z. I travel all the way from down here in San Diego all the way up to Marina Del Rey.
Yes, you
Again,
do.
the number is 619-302-3379.
And today's show was sponsored by Promar Ahi USA. Again, go to the Promar Ahi USA website, put in the code YSWG, and you're going to save, YSWG and the number 22, and you're going to save 10% on all the products over there. And remember, this was the lure that caught that big yellowfin yesterday. This was the only lure that got bit on Justin's boat. The Live Deception Flash Greenback Mackerel Color. You guys can't believe it. 4 ounce. Throw that in the foamer and tell me what happened. Live Deception Flash Lure by Promar Ahi USA. Thank you, Promar. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Al. Adios.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you for having me.